We're losing!
Teamwork, guys, more teamwork.
They're burying us alive!
Well, shit.
Jeez, Louie.
Honey, don't you want to beat those bastards? In my book, we're gonna be winners.
What's the matter? You got nothing left inside, huh? Because you're training like a damn bum, you know that?
Screw them.
What are you doing? What are people doing?
Is this early access to?
Hey, let me tell you something, bro.
Get out there now and do the best you can.
Hey, let me tell you something, bro. This is the first episode of 2018 for Bad Fodder Figures and Mr. Glovebox's MIA. Welcome to Bad Fodder Figures, Captain Mike M. Joined by Matthew and Jeremy. How we doing, fellas?
Howdy. Nice.
Actually, Eric is here, but only for our Patreon subscribers.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
He's behind a paywall.
Yeah, you gotta unlock him in a loot box.
Speaking of loot, Matthew's been celebrating the New Year in style, hitting those casinos up.
Yeah, it's been awesome, man.
Double dipping this week?
Yes, sir. I won Friday night and won last night. So that's pretty damn sweet there. That was good times. Good times.
Your Quicken is just swelling up, isn't it?
Oh, man.
Bursting at the seams.
My Quicken loves it. My Quicken loves the deposits going in. It just hates when the money comes out. In Quicken, when you put a deposit in, it goes cha-ching. It makes a little noise when you hit the enter button after you put a deposit.
What sound does it make when you withdraw?
It doesn't make any sound.
Toilet flushes.
Yeah.
So no big plans for the earnings?
Well, we went out. I went Friday on the way home. I stopped work, and there's a place here in Cincinnati called Coney Island Stone Lake Pool, and it's a giant pool and a little amusement park. And so we buy passes to them every year. So I bought passes for them. And then while I was down there, the wife called and said, hey.
Hold up.
Yes.
So let me ask you.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably January 4th or 5th.
Yes, sir.
And you were somewhat caught in the polar vortex as well?
Correct.
So,
yeah, you are correct, sir.
So walk me through the process that you got up on January 4th and said, I better get these passes for the summer because time could pass me by, and before I know it, it's time to go lather up with the baby oil and the suntan lotion. What was the thought process?
Because January the 10th, prices go up.
Oh, Quicken again. A little reminder?
Yeah, and I get an email from them because you get the password. So I get an email that said, hey, January 10th is the last chance to get the prices, the preseason prices. So I save probably about $20-$30 a person doing that.
Nice. I was just curious. It's like, it is pretty cold out, Matt. And
yes,
why are you thinking of, Coney Island and suntan lotion? But now
it's all about that money. It's all about that money, Mike, and saving them extra pennies.
Yeah. How you guys been dealing with the cold? All right.
Whew, man, it's a heat wave today. Something just got above freezing today. Mm-hmm. It's like 35 right now, I think.
Yeah, we're getting that weather starting this week. Tonight's supposed to be the last cold night. It's currently 14 degrees, feels like 1. But starting tomorrow, it's going to be up in the 30s. And then Friday, 53. So.
Oh, wow. It's been colder than a witch's tit this past week, man. Lows
and a nylon bra.
And the negatives and highs and just the teens, barely getting into the teens.
Well, how the fuck does Jeremy know? He doesn't leave his house.
Yeah.
Oh, I see the number on my phone. It's like, oh, that looks really bad.
You shoveled outside today to go to the make some barbecue, some grilling, or was that yesterday?
That was yesterday. Yeah, I had to shovel the path for my wife to get to the grill so she could.
For the wife.
Yep, so she could make us some Mexican torpedoes.
Winter grilling, such a strange phenomenon for me. I've never done any winter grilling, but I see people doing it all the time.
Oh yeah, we grill all the time. It don't matter.
Oh, nice.
It don't mean nothing.
How much snow did you get, Jeremy?
What's that?
How much snow did you get?
Well, it's the same snow that's been here since Christmas. Like it was only like an inch and a half, 2 inches, something like that.
Yeah, I bet.
We just hadn't grilled out back since then.
Nice. Nice.
Matt, do you do off-season grilling?
Nah, I can't say that I do. Nah, late fall, early spring, but not in this type of weather. No.
Yeah, he'll go sit in his garage, but no,
Yeah.
he can't.
With the car on and a cigar, everything's totally
Right.
fine there. Nothing's
Right, right.
dangerous.
Right.
No.
I know Jeremy did a dad's podcast. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. And I want Jeremy to feel right at home here as we're moving on to episode 11. I have some dad stuff I want to talk about here, gentlemen. The first one, not so serious, and the second one, kind of very serious. Do you guys find it, like, when you tell your kids to, like, hey, you just finished, eating that bag of chips or having that yogurt, you mind picking up after yourselves and go throwing that away? That's something we often say as dads, right?
Yes.
Do you ever notice that they can't get to point A to point B? There's something like shiny off in the distance that they see and they go to it. Like my kids
Yes.
struggle from going to A to B, and it is maddening. Are you guys finding that?
Yes. And my kids are very slow, too.
Yeah, and they don't even have to be from point to, like, I'll just be trying to get my son's pajamas on at night. And I'm like, all right, like, I'm holding his underwear out for him to put one leg in, and he like lifts up his leg and then just starts kind of wandering, looking around. I'm like, dude, focus right here. This is it's 2 seconds. Come on.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
All right, so here's the serious thing. I want to ask you guys, as dads, what is your expectation of your kids when you've taken care of them, you've nestled them in your bosom for 18 years, or 25 years, however long they're going to live with you, right? And you're going to hopefully send them to college, or maybe they go into military or a trade or something like that. What is the end game? Are you expecting something in return for this? Do you guys feel like that is something that you envision? Like, hey, I've taken care of you, now it's time to take care of me. Is that something that crosses your mind?
No.
I mean, not at this point in time, no. I mean, but I guess it depends on where they are in their life, where I am in my life at that point too, but not at this time.
All right. Well, I want to go over this article that I came across this week. And you guys are lucky you're not in Taiwan. Okay, so this is about a woman in Taiwan who raised her 2 boys, and I'll read a little bit of the article. She says, when I was young, I came from a naive and wealthy family and married into a military family that didn't even have a license. A license, she means to practice medicine. She said, according to, she's made all sorts of sacrifices, gave up her leisure time. And so in doing so, she told her children, her 2 sons, that when they reach a certain age and when they finish going to dentist school, that they must pay her $50 million in Taiwan money, which comes
That's
out
like $5.
Yeah, so the agreement stipulated after becoming dentists, her sons would pay her 60% of their net profits until the total amount paid reached 50 million Taiwan dollars, which works out to be $1.7 million.
Wow.
So her sons, of course, they got to that age, and they gave her about $1 million, but not the 1.7. And so she sued her own sons, right? And the court disagreed with the sons and have ordered the sons to pay this money. It's called an upbringing fee.
Is it something common over there? Is that a common thing? Upbringing fee?
In Taiwan, education are widely recognized as important virtues. Young people face a tougher economic environment than their parents. The verdict drew mixed reactions. So it doesn't say that it's something common, but she had them sign this agreement.
Wow.
Matt, are you thinking, is it changing your opinions at all here that you can get some sort of upbringing fee?
Well, I'm looking at Quicken right now to see if there's even a category for that in my Quicken. But no, I've never heard it. I would not expect so. I mean, that's what, as parents, you do that, right? You give your kids money, you help them along, you do things, right? I mean, I wouldn't expect some of that money back or anything. I mean, I would hope that they don't just abandon me in some home somewhere, but
Right.
I mean, that'll make me happy if they don't do that. Just shove me off somewhere.
So one fellow dentist, Wu Chi Hang, a 30-year-old gentleman, I believe, said, "I believe everyone should want to repay their parents for raising them once they've grown old. I support the judge's decision." Upbringing fee, gentlemen.
I'm pretty sure I'm not going into Wu Chi Hang's office and opening my mouth. That's for sure.
Yeah, no joke.
Yep. Given that he signed the contract when he was only 20, the judge did reduce the fee, so they didn't have to pay the full amount, but he did have to pay what they're saying $967,000.
It almost sounds like it's all based around the contract. So, I mean, in a law sense, yeah, you sign this contract. That's what you're going to do. Not so much a morality thing of, hey, this is really how things should work. Mm-hmm. But at least that's what I'm going to bed with tonight, so I can actually get to sleep with that thought in my mind.
So, once again, kids, read the fine print, or else you'll be charged an upbringing fee.
Amazing.
Don't just sign what they put in front of you.
No, you gotta read that stuff, man.
Shady parents, yeah. Jeez.
Mm-hmm. Can you imagine that? Wow.
Outstanding. Yes.
Outstanding. So Matthew soured our mood earlier in the week. We were so high on life, and Matt in our private Twitter chat sent us this thing telling us about the Intel chip flaw, Meltdown, and Spectra. Mm-hmm. And he was saying, long gone are the days of powerful CPU usage, Mike and Jeremy. I want to inform you that your CPUs are now going to be 30% less powerful. Really was crestfallen. Couldn't believe it. What I was hearing. Matthew, have you read up on this a little more? Do you have any insight to tell us what's going on here?
Yeah, so I've been reading it here and there, some stuff on that, and it mainly affects the what do you call it? Intel chips, not the AMD ones. Okay, it's mainly affecting those, and it's a flaw to where somehow it can get into the kernel of the chip where a lot of stuff, storage and stuff, is actually held. Some private stuff in it, and people can extract keystrokes from there, passwords, just other sensitive information possibly from it.
Other type of strokes.
Or other type of strokes also, yeah. Mm-hmm. How many strokes it took when he was watching that video, stuff like that. But anyways, so there's a vulnerability there, and it's been there for, they're thinking maybe now for the past 20 years, these chips might be affected by this, okay? And they're saying that the fix might possibly lessen your computer power by 30%. That's pretty huge. That's a big number.
Mm-hmm. So again, the two bugs are known as Spectre and Meltdown. Spectre can't easily be fixed and will need computer chips themselves to be redesigned and made secure. Meltdown can be patched up through an update, but like Matt said, it could slow computers down as much as 30%. You guys can't see what I'm seeing or feel what I'm feeling, but I can hear Jeremy.
I wish I was
rolling his eyes over this. And Jeremy is a naysayer on this. So, Jeremy, let me bring you in here. And do you have any sort of counter arguments? Should we be concerned as consumers about our own personal computers that this could affect us?
Should you be concerned in the sense that the sky is falling? No, absolutely not. Should you be aware of it and know that it exists? Absolutely. But I guess, and again, this is just some of the research and things I've done. I'm in no way an expert at the high level that this stuff is being attacked or whatever. But I feel fairly confident that it's not as big of an issue as at least as it was on, what was that, Thursday, that everyone was losing their minds. Mm-hmm. Basically, the Meltdown is Intel only. The Spectre is Intel, AMD, Apple, everything. Everything from cloud-based services to cell phones. So I would say, if anything, that's the bigger concern, just because it affects everything. And as far as the vulnerabilities with either one, the things as far as being able to see keystrokes and all that, that still requires somebody, one, to target you, and two, for you to give them access to your computer. So it's not just, Joe Hacker halfway across the world in China can just say, oh, I want to see Matthew's Quicken, and then just taps a few buttons and gets it. So, I mean, use the same common sense that we've always used.
Chinese accent there? Can you do that one more time?
I reeled it in just a little. So, yeah, I mean, just don't be stupid. Don't download files you don't know what they are. Don't open up attachments. All the same stuff that hopefully everyone kind of is already doing in everyday practice and stuff like that. Now, as far as the 30% slowdown, it's not as soon as this is fixed, everyone is 30% slower. Based on what I'm seeing, most people won't see any type of, and by most people, I think it was worded as average users. And this is kind of coming from the actual Intel people. So, do you believe them as just being experts on their own stuff, or do you believe them as being just trying to dodge any bullets or whatever? But they were saying that most people won't be affected, won't see any type of slowdown, and the ones that would be most affected by anything like that would be older CPUs that were 5 to 10 years older and doing a lot of high load tasks. So really putting your processor through the ringer, so to speak. So yes, it's a real thing. I'm not going to sit here and say no, it's not an issue, but I don't think it's as big of a threat as a lot of the sites were making it out to me. I mean, because this was something that was reported back in like June or July. I was reading. There's been test fixes in it in the Windows Insiders program since November. So this is not anything that just sprung out and all of a sudden all of your information is out there. It's nothing like that.
Well, Epic Games is saying that it is currently affecting them. So they released a chart of CPU usage earlier in the week after it patched its back-end services to address the Meltdown vulnerability. The chart shows a roughly 20% increase in CPU utilization, and this was immediately after the patches were applied. This is a quote from them. They say, all of our cloud services are affected by updates required to mitigate the Meltdown vulnerability. We heavily rely on cloud services to run our backend, and we may experience further service issues due to ongoing updates. So if you're playing Fortnite right now, you will notice that like some modes, I think the sneaky silencer mode can only be played like in groups. And a few days ago when that launched, there was a queue. I've never had a queue in Fortnite, and there was like a 15-minute wait to get into the game. So whether it's having an effect or not, who knows, but at least on the surface, there seemed to be a little bit of effect there. So something to keep our eye on. Like Jeremy said, the sky is not falling yet, but certainly something to be aware of.
Yeah.
Anything else to say on that, Matthew, or is that surmising?
No, we'll have to see what happens when they start rolling out these patches and stuff to the masses, to the average user. See if, like Jeremy said, if it does actually affect a lot of these computers that are a couple years old or not, or if it's just the older ones that are affecting that. And like Jeremy said, us normal average people, we shouldn't be too concerned about people trying to get into our little processor on our little computers and trying to get pictures of little Johnny and little Mary off her hard drive or something like that to steal and swipe and stuff like that. So.
All right. Jeremy, you still there, buddy? No.
Yes, I am. Sorry, I was muting my cough.
All right. Roughly how long would you say you've known Matt? Approximation.
Like known of his existence, or actually like
feel that you've got to know him? Like, has it been like a year since you've got to know him? 2 years?
Couple years, 3 years maybe, give or take.
Did you know he was a cowboy? So earlier today, he sent me some photos of what he was drinking, and in those photos, the man was wearing cowboy boots. So I'm going to give Matt his due here and play a little ditty for him. We want Matt to feel comfortable.
Starting to kick up my feet now.
Giddy up, partner.
Now, Matt in the photo, said these were his everyday boots. And he said that
Yes, sir.
the boots are a staple of his winter wardrobe, and they were not his dressy boots. So, Matt, the floor is yours. Tell us a little bit about your secret here as you play Cowboys and Indians. Tell us about your boots, please.
Hey, Eric. Thanks for joining the call. How you doing, Eric? What's new with you, Eric?
I'm fantastic, man. I'm loving the comedy. I'm loving the comedy. Keep going.
We want to hear about the assless chaps too.
I got probably about 3 pairs of I wouldn't call them cowboy boots, but yeah, 3 pairs of boots that I wear throughout the winter time. Usually when I'm wearing jeans and going out, I'll put those on instead of gym shoes or something like that.
You got to call them cowboy boots because I have boots, but mine are like Timberland, so they're not. Those are boots, so you have cowboy boots.
So
yes, I have cowboy
what is the
boots,
genesis of this? Was it like Lone Ranger movies, F Troop? You know, like where did the style inspiration come from? Is it a family thing? Is it passed down like generation to generation? Are you wearing your dad's boots?
No, I'm not wearing. No, I'm not wearing my dad's boots. He would not give me any of his boots. No. My dad, yeah, he wears them all. He'll wear them with a suit and everything. He wears them with a suit, and pretty much anytime he's got jeans on, he's got suit cowboy boots on. And so I don't know, maybe from him. And I don't know. One time years ago, I went out and bought a pair for myself, and I don't know. I've been every so often I go out and buy a new pair or something like that.
Do you feel taller in them?
A couple inches, yeah.
Does that give you lift your spirits? More confidence?
No, not really. No, it doesn't do anything.
What does Barb say about this?
She doesn't really say anything. She don't
Does
care.
she have her own pair?
No, she doesn't have any.
What's that guy in New York City? The naked cowboy.
Naked cowboy.
Cowboy. Yeah.
Now,
He's from Cincinnati.
Matt,
kid.
Have you would you say you've cosplayed as him in the bedroom?
No, absolutely not. No, I'm not. No.
There's always tonight, Matt. There's always tonight.
Well, Matt, we want to send you off in style, sir. You know, your wardrobe is fabulous. Soak it in, brother. Let it roll over you. Take a bow. All right, enough of that.
I wish I could quit, man.
You guys ever been to a shoe shine guy?
Who?
You know, you sit in the chair, they shine your shoes up and stuff for you, and they
outlawed that, Matt. That's it's not allowed anymore. They've outlawed that.
They have not.
That's frowned upon.
They're all over the
Shine Nikes.
Yeah.
So are you going to tell me now that you take your boots to the shoe shine man? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I have before, yes. And I've taken my work shoes. I've gone there at lunchtime and sat down there and got my shoes buffed up and cleaned up.
Every time he goes to send a Western Union telegram, he sits down to a nice shoe shine.
I go down to the old saloon, see the school marm. I got my boots on.
Well, Eric, welcome to the show. I'm glad you could catch that. Glad you could catch that live.
I'm glad I caught it too. Jeez Louise.
So just totally when you listen back to the show, Eric, just forget everything I said in the intro. Now that you're here, but it's irrelevant.
But I was at I had to go to. I was at. Sometimes I gotta be a cop, bro. Sometimes at a fire alarm.
You were at a fire alarm?
Yeah.
Chinese fire drill?
No, it wasn't a fire. Damn, a pipe burst in the building.
Eric sounds a little lucid tonight.
I am not fucking drunk.
I am not.
Cool.
All right. Let's move on desperately here and get right into the voicemails. Unless Eric, you had something you wanted to address off the top, any sort of
No, I'm good, bro.
You're good?
Roll with it. I'm good.
All right.
Yep.
So let's go.
Operator, may I help you? Operator?
Are you the operator?
I'm long distance, sir. Overseas, may I help you? Directory assistance, may I help you, please?
Hello again.
some voicemails to get to. Matthew, before that, why don't you give out the phone number, please?
508-659-BFFS. 508-659-BFFS.
Now, Matt, I'm going to give you another job to do here. When we get done with the voicemails, if I go on right to what we've been playing, please remind me that we have some questions from the listeners. So that is your job. Okay?
I had one job.
One job. A to B. Don't get distracted.
Shiny
Put
things.
on your underwear. Put on your underwear, man. Come on.
Shiny things.
All right. Let's hear from Vaughn.
Yo, what's up, BFF crew? It's your boy Vaughn, Bar Beach. What's up? What it do? Hey, I just wanted to call in. You guys were talking about last week the cartoons, and I believe Jeremy brought up about He-Man, and it reminded me of a series that's on Netflix that I think you guys should check out called The Toys That Made Us. Check that out, man. It's only 4 shows. Each show they take a toy and they talk about the back history of it. I think you guys would like that. It was pretty interesting. The first one, I believe, is Star Wars, and they do Barbie, He-Man, and G.I. Joe. And they tell you, like, the backstory. And I was going to skip the actual one about Barbie, but I'm glad I watched it because that was the most scandalous one of them all.
Of course.
So the 2 people that created Barbie kind of goes into their background, and, man, it was some pretty scandalous stuff going on. Not to spoil it, but check out where Barbie came from, what she was actually based on. So I think you guys will like that. My question for you guys is in reference to VR. I know 2 guys have VR on the show and 2 don't, but if everybody could answer this. What would you like to see, either game or experience, not necessarily a game, but what experience would you like to see come to VR if you don't have VR, if you were to get it? What would you like to see in VR or on VR? For me, having VR, I'm really enjoying it. I would love to see something that's not game-wise, but like get a code or something and be able to be inside like a theme park. Like here in Virginia, we have Busch Gardens. We have a place called King's Dominion. I would love to be able to virtually, instead of driving 2 hours, I could go and see what the new rides are like or whatever. Or more so for me, I would be interested in going to like California, to the Disney World or Disneyland, whichever one it is, or they have one in Japan. I would love to be able to experience that, ride the roller coasters or see the rides that they have in other countries, things like that. And you can probably even get a pack or something, the East Coast theme park, stuff like that, or whatever, theme parks in other countries and other parts of the United States that you would not normally drive or fly to go to. So let me know what you think. I'm out. Peace. Talk to you later.
All right, Vaughn. Thank you.
So he's getting his radio voice. Like, if you listen to his first few call-ins, he's a little nervous, which is understandable. Now he's just all on it. Good on him.
Yeah, he is.
Keep it up, Vaughn.
Yes, sir.
Has anybody watched the program that he was talking about, How Toys Are Made? The 4 episodes.
No, but I will, though.
We'll put that in our itinerary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about it. I heard a lot of people talking about it. So.
It's homework.
Now, Matt, since you are one of the 2 people that don't have VR, besides the price point and you don't have the machine to run it, let's say all those things were irrelevant. Besides gaming, would there be anything that you would like to see out of VR? Now, certainly you do it at work, right? So that we can't count that. So think outside the box, not work, not gaming. Is there anything else that you'd like to see?
Fleshlight integration.
Well, they probably already have that.
Yeah, because they got porn. They just got to integrate the fleshlight.
I really don't know. Besides, like what we do at work, and I mean, the only thing coming to my mind, but it's game related. It'd be like like a Madden football or a baseball or something like that. But
now,
I can't really think of anything.
Would you like to be like in the perspective of like the people on field, or would you like to be the manager, or like?
Well, that'd be cool if you do either one. You'd be the manager, or you walk up and down the sideline and you see the players out in the field or something like that. And that'd be pretty cool there. That'd be neat. That'd be neat.
I could see a baseball one being like you'd be up there with the bat or even pitching, either one.
Yeah.
Or how about a referee or an umpire? Yeah,
that'd be that type of point of view. That'd be awesome. That would be cool. That's
Now,
one thing I can think.
What was that? Say it again.
That's the only thing I can think of is something like that.
Now, Eric and Jeremy, as you guys play through the VR and enjoy your experiences, anytime do you catch yourself saying, this is great, but only if they did this? Is there any experience that leaves you wanting more? Start with you, Jeremy, since your VR experience is the newest.
Yeah, I would say the only thing I would really like to see at this point is a Skyrim-esque game that's actually built in a game of that scale that's made for VR, not just a game that already existed and then kind of had VR shoehorned into it. Not that it was done poorly, but there's times where you can tell it wasn't necessarily designed for that. So I would say a big grand adventure type thing, maybe even like an Uncharted or something like that. But just that was designed for that, and that's not just an experience or something like that.
Now, have you seen any of the Fallout VR? Have you watched any of those streams yet, or seen any videos? No, and that's the thing. I kind of mentioned it in our little chat. It's hard to watch. Like, you can see a VR, someone playing one of those VR games on YouTube, but it really, you don't get the same sense that you do when you're actually seeing it in VR. And I'm sure Eric will agree that when seeing it on there is neat and you get a really good idea about how it works. But when you're actually in there and everything's in 3D and the things are coming at you and that depth is there and that whole extra level of immersion, it's not that it's not a good representation of it, but it's not a complete representation of it. And obviously you can't really get that unless you have VR. But yeah.
So VR games and flat games are 100 miles apart.
Right.
It's so different.
So when I was watching the Fallout 4 VR, what was weird to me is, the gun would just be floating there, right? Now, when you guys are playing a game like that, I know you can't speak to Fallout itself, but if you've played something along that, do you also on your end see like this floating gun, or does it look like it's actually in your hand?
Yeah, no, it looks like it's in your hand. Like you look down, that's your hand holding a gun. You want to hold it gangster style sideways. That's you.
Okay.
And like when you're playing something like Farpoint, you actually have something in your hand that simulates the gun. It makes it feel like you're actually holding what you see on the screen, and you can manipulate it and turn it like Jeremy said and do. It's awesome.
And most of the games, they do the lighting and everything so that when you turn it to the side, the shadows or the light bounces off. It's super.
Wow.
Cool. I mean, I think, to answer Vaughn's question, that's probably what I want. I want to be able to play games that I enjoy in a VR experience. I don't think there's necessarily a experience that I'm looking for. I mean, going to the amusement park and not waiting in lines sounds really cool. I didn't think of that, So stuff like that I can still stay in the house and not sit in lines, not have to go to get my pass in January to go to the pool and, suntan.
Not have to leave the house.
Right.
But you know what's funny? I think all games can translate to VR. If that sounds funny. Like, I know I've seen on the Oculus and the Vive and stuff, they have football, say, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of hard to pull off, believe it or not.
Huh.
Because I mean, they have it and you can play it, but it's not like it's hard to explain, man. Because like say you were playing the running back position and you're running through the line and all that, it's more of a clusterfuck kind of.
Does anybody remember 2K5 football?
Yeah, it's like that. Yeah,
you had that in camera.
Yes, and it's like that. Helmet. It's almost unplayable.
Yeah. Well, I thought that was really cool. That's still regarded as one of the best football games ever.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see an Olympic type game where you can play all the different events.
Ooh, skiing, downhill skiing.
Eddie the Eagle, just like that.
Yeah, yeah, there you go.
That's what I'd like to see.
You could have your wife with the fans on you.
Exactly.
Some dry ice out there.
Yeah.
All right, we got to move on to another voicemail. Thanks for the questions, Vaughn.
What's up, dudes? It's Wicked Heathen here. But yeah, like if you wanna send me one of those condoms,
what?
Then I'll try it out. I've tried
controller.
For its controller.
Never tried out a condom before, you know.
What the hell is he
I've heard
talking
about
about?
condoms and you know, people passing condoms back and forth at
Little
school
ladies
and
already got
stuff. They're
kids.
like,
He said,
you know,
what?
I'm awesome. I'm cool. I got a condom. And I'm like, I want a condom
He's still going on about the condoms.
so I can be cool.
He needed a condom.
Anyway,
You know.
Sure.
Done. You got two kids.
I'll review your
Late,
condoms
late for a condom.
on the voicemail, maybe. Another thing is what Matt, I think it was Matt that brought it up, the whole gunky kids touching your controllers.
Yeah.
I've often wondered, what the fuck is that? Like, it's always the consistency to me of like donut glaze. Like, it's like everything is in constant donut glaze. Just, I'm like, there's no donuts in the house. Why is there donut glaze all over our electronics?
It's because they didn't have a condom.
Where are the kids getting these donuts from? Because I like donuts, but I don't want donut glaze all over my controllers. But it just seems to get all over them, and all over tablets. Oh my gosh, touchscreen is the worst invention ever for kids. It really is. I mean, you want a screen protector, the kids got you covered. They'll cover it with freaking donut glaze. So yeah, that's all I really got. But anyway, you know, still listening to you guys. You guys are the shit. The old 40 beta getting grounded with the glove box.
He was also on the 40 cast.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's out tired. Them kids wearing him out.
Drunk.
I think he's high.
Do you think he said condom or donuts more?
Every time he said a word, drink.
No, he said glaze.
I can play it again if you want to count.
No.
Okay.
All right. Speaking of glazed donuts.
Bad Fodder Figures. It's Steve Rogers, 1991 here.
Oh.
Calling in just to leave you
Can you pause?
a good message.
Yes.
Okay, can we put an end to everybody faking their Fred French? Okay, that's getting old.
There's only one double F.
Exactly. All right.
You know what she's done now, Matt. You've just opened the floodgates.
Well, you know what? Then you should not even play their voicemails.
Oh boy. Oh,
wow.
11 episodes in and just put his foot down. Daddy pants are on.
Wow.
Okay. Carry on.
Wow, Matthew.
And what you gonna do when Hulkamania and the largest arms in the world destroy you?
Matt just fucking put the gauntlet down. Holy shit. All right, here we go.
Bad Fodder Figures. It's Steve
Are you
Rogers,
triggered
here.
yet, Matt?
Calling in just to leave you a good message.
Should I pause it?
I have not much to play right now, other than I got a new Dell Inspiron 15 1 terabyte Dell laptop for Christmas this past week.
Watch out for the meltdown.
And, yeah, what the hell else? Next week, around this, actually no, yeah, next Friday through Sunday, the 12th through the 14th, I will be at a comic convention once again, starting the season again. And I'm sure I will probably be posting this on social media, on Twitter and Instagram and all that. So, yeah, that's coming up again. And the usual cosplay hotties I will be rubbing elbows with. I mean, what? Anyway, hey Eric, Jeremy Bruner, Mike, Matt. If you're not listening to this fine establishment of a podcast, you are missing out on life, and you deserve to be stung by bees in the dick. I don't know what that means, but yes. And shout out to Fred French, Double F 2018. And yeah, listen to the podcast. Follow everybody on the social media: Ruiner2, DV's Mr. Matt, Captain Mike M, The Love Box, and myself, which I'm not really part of the podcast, but I consider myself part of it. Steve Rogers, 1991. Once again, Ruiner2, The Love Box, DV's Mr. Matt, and Captain Mike M at Bad Fodder Figures. Thank you. and have a great day. Go Patriots! 2018 Super Bowl 52.
Oh, Christ.
AFC representatives again. Let's go.
It looks to me like the best part of you ran down to crack your mama's ass and ended up as a brown stain on the mattress.
Okay, I have two things about that. First, if we were a video game, that whole Dick B stinging comment would be on our box art, like Roger says. Second, do you think that if we got him a Bad Fodder Figure shirt, that he would wear that on top of all his cosplay outfits whenever he goes? Because he could be like our billboard.
Yes.
Never know.
Absolutely.
Let us know.
I do exactly what I want to do. You say I'm insane. I say thank you very much.
The man does rub some elbows with some pretty ladies at them conventions, though.
But I'd say this: Fred French is an internet celebrity, man. I'm trying to tell you.
He is.
I'm sorry, it's double F.
Yeah, my bad. Double F.
All right, here we go. Double F.
Bad Fodder Figure. What is up, gentlemen? What is up? We're all trying to survive here on the East Coast. Arctic air, typhoon-type blizzards, everything and anything they're throwing at us, but we're marching through, man. We're marching through. Thank goodness we have your podcast and other podcasts to keep us going. Calling on a frigid Friday night. It's about 10 o'clock at night, gentlemen. It's like, I think 6 degrees outside with a wind chill of -8. And yes, I'm outside. People do those polar plunges to raise money and awareness. Hats off to them. Congratulations. I'm doing this not to raise money for the Bad Father Figures, but to raise awareness that you, yes, you can call into the podcast, and you don't have to be outside in these frigid weather to do it. You can do it from the comfort of your own living room. You don't even have to call this podcast. Call any podcast you listen to. Email the podcast. Help these people out. Be a part of it. It's fun. And it's a great thing to do. And that's why I'm outside freezing calling. No, actually, really, my dog.
Matt, I want to pause that. You want to give out the phone number?
Yes, 508-659-BFFS.
All right, let's carry on.
Dog's inside. If my dog gets very mad when I call and talk like this, she'll bark at me like mad, so I stepped outside and let my lovely pooch stay inside and be warm. Great show, gentlemen. As always, great show. Enjoyed it. Very good. Thought of something this week, gentlemen. Maybe we could have a little bit of fun. What do you think? Let me know. What do you think? Thought maybe doing some Super Bowl picks. Nothing really involved. No money on the table. Just for the boasting rights of being right. Thought maybe, if people wanted to, I'll take on the burden. Hashtag me, Fred French. Hashtag that. Let's start over with that. I've won too many beers on this cold night. People could hit me up on Twitter with your Super Bowl picks. Fred French 2017. We'll use the hashtag the new Greek. You remember Jimmy the Greek and all his picks? Well, you could be the new Greek.
Oh, I remember Jimmy the Greek.
I mean, we could have some fun. Send me 2 teams. Give me an AFC team. Give me an NFC team. And give me a score, gentlemen. And we'll see who in the world gets this right. Now, obviously, yes, these wild card games are over. You got to pass. We're starting this a little bit later. I should have thought of this sooner. So there you go. We knocked a few teams out. We just made it a little bit easier for you guys. Have a little bit of fun. Like I said, tweet at me. Give me an AFC team. Give me an NFC team. Give me 2 scores. That way, if we have a tie, we at least have a tiebreaker score-wise. And use the hashtag the new Greek. And if you don't remember who Jimmy the Greek is, well then I guess you're not old enough. But look it up, find out, whatever.
So brevity was not on his side this week. So he had to call back because he just got cut off.
What do you know? I've been cut off. It isn't bad enough I'm out here freezing. This warm operator of a woman comes on and says, "You've talked long enough, dummy. Goodbye." Well, what does she really know? I guess I'm rambling. Oh, I don't know. I'll put a tweet out once this show comes out about this Super Bowl thing. Like I said, it's just for fun, guys. Just have some fun. See who can get it right. Something different. Something different. Something just for fun. Anyway, hopefully you like the idea. If not, well then tell me no and tell everybody else no, and we'll live with that too. I don't know. I mean, maybe I drank too much. I don't know what I'm doing out here anyway. But as always, gentlemen, Happy New Year. Stay warm, and if you're in one of those warm states, well, I'm very envious of you because we're all freezing where we are. And as always, gentlemen, thank you for the time, and arrivederci.
Thank you, Fred.
All right. Jeremy, this is the time you can probably mute yourself and if you're coughing.
Who's still in it? Who's still in the running?
So today...
Who are the Patriots going to play is what we're trying to
Steelers. Steelers.
Patriots and Steelers cannot play each other.
The
Atlanta.
And the Patriots and Steelers.
In the AFC Championship.
Huh?
In the AFC Championship, they can play each other.
Yeah, they are. Next week they're playing. Next week,
Fred said, Matt, if you pay attention, Fred said the AFC team and the NFC team.
Yeah. So next week is a divisional round, not the championship. Yeah. So next week we have New Orleans playing Minnesota. And we have Patriots playing Tennessee. Pittsburgh will play Jacksonville. And
I'm looking at it wrong.
Philadelphia will play Atlanta, right?
Philadelphia plays Atlanta. Matt's going to keep just yelling Pittsburgh and Steelers over and over again, but we're just going to kind of ignore him. You know,
I'm looking at it wrong because the way they got it listed on the NFL site.
Fucking drunk.
Never mind. But that's what I say, man. The Patriots and Steelers, that would be a hell of a game.
You know, it could happen in 2 weeks. Let's see what happens next week. So let's just go around. Now that we know the teams, Matt's going to say Pittsburgh again, but Matt, give us your AFC and NFC team now that you know what the field is down to.
For the Super Bowl?
Yes, that's what Fred said.
I'm going to go with the Vikings and the Patriots.
Okay. Eric?
Patriots and Atlanta.
Okay. Jeremy?
Do any of the teams have an Asian or Hispanic kicker?
What?
I think the Asians have been out of football for a while, because I think that Dallas has.
I said kicker.
Sean Lee is a linebacker, and Dat Win was a linebacker at one point. Okay. I don't believe there's any Asian kickers.
Okay, so. Plan B. Then we're going to go with the Patriots and the Saints.
Ooh. I really like the Saints. They got away with one today, but they are a very explosive team, great running backs. So I think that Saints-Minnesota game is going to be almost like a mini Super Bowl. That's going to be a great game. I am going to go with New Orleans out of the NFC. And, Patriots are my home team, so I feel a little guilty if I pick them. But I will go with Patriots-Saints as well.
Nobody's picking the Eagles, huh?
The Eagles are the first underdog since 1975, the number one seed to be an underdog. So, all right. That's all the voicemail. So Matt was going to tell us now we have some questions of the week. I remembered, so we don't need Matt. This is from...
Get out.
This is from our buddy Jagouche from Minnesota, who I assume is going to be rooting for the Vikings. He wanted to know what will happen first. PUBG on Xbox One gets the Miramar map, or Fortnite gets a new map. Which will happen first? Everybody understand the question?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Steelers.
Pittsburgh.
Steelers.
Bruner 2. Captain Mike. The glove box.
Bread, butter, donuts.
Shameless.
Glaze, yeah.
I'll go. I'm going to say PUBG. I'm going to say the second PUBG map, just because it already exists, and they I don't think they really care about optimizing too much more. I mean, they've already got all the vaulting and all that stuff that came with that second map, so I think they just dump it in at some point.
Mm-hmm. Does anybody disagree with that statement?
I think
no. I agree with the PUBG.
And what did you say, Matt?
I think Fortnite.
I think Fortnite is going to do something different. I think they're just going to add on to their map. So I don't think you're going to get a new map. I think you're going to get almost like a jigsaw puzzle, right? They're going to insert places to go.
Mm-hmm.
Or they'll rework certain places that aren't working for them. So that's what I think will happen. And I think that will happen before this new map in PUBG gets on the Xbox. Let's see here. The next question is from Chaffee. He says, will there be more soundboard?
When I'm good, I'm good. When I'm bad, I'm better, brother.
So, you know, I'm working on it. It's a work in progress. You know what I'm saying?
Well, shit.
Well said,
That
Matt.
sounds
Well
like it's so real. That sounds like.
What the fuck is that?
No, Chalfie, there will not be more soundboard. Sorry.
No. Well, where were we? When Glovebox, will you loan out the PSVR? And I already have the answer for that for you.
If I had a dick, this is where I'd tell you to suck it.
No. I don't mean Chaffee. I apologize. Eric, do you have a response for him?
I will sell it. Once somebody just buy it, you can have it. I gotta loan it out. In order to loan it out, I gotta ship it, and then you got it. Bruh, come on.
Hey,
really?
Chaffee, Eric still loves you.
Don't you
I do.
ever say I just walked away. I will always want you.
So Chaffee, we'll let you down easy on that one. All right. He won't loan it out, but if you want to buy it, you know, it's yours. All right, those are the only questions of the week, gentlemen. Good questions. I think people should send us more. They don't always have to leave voicemails. They can hit us up on Twitter at the Bad Fodder Figure or Discord, or Runer2, Devious Mr. Matt, Glovebox, Captain
Hashtag
Mike.
donuts.
Yep. And what was what's it? Double F. His hashtag was New Greek. We won't get into Jimmy the Greek because I think he was fired for racist comments. So we won't get into any of that. All right. So what have we been playing? Jeremy, looks like you have some unique titles that we haven't discussed before. So why don't we go down that path?
Absolutely. So I'll start with the VR stuff. I'll try not to do the obscure stuff because I know a lot of people aren't going to have access to it, so it'll kind of not really go over people's heads if they're never going to play it. First thing I've been playing lately is Super Hot VR, which if you're familiar with the game Super Hot, it's basically that in VR. If you're not familiar, you're kind of in this world. And there's these red people who are trying to kill you. They're kind of made of glass or whatever. And the idea is that you can have guns or just things in the environment. You can punch them or whatever. But the time works in a way that they don't move unless you're moving. So you can kind of stop, look around the room, kind of survey what's going on or your surroundings, and then kind of plan out your actions and to try and kill them, or you really only have to hit them once with anything because, like I said, it looks like they're made of glass. So it's almost like an action puzzle game because there's times where there'll be certain they'll come out of certain directions or out of certain spots on the map, and you have to kind of know ahead of time because again, they move when you move or when you shoot your gun, and the bullet's moving as well. So a really neat game. Again, you don't need VR for that. There's just a normal version of it out there that's I think did pretty well critically.
Super hot.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
right.
The guy says that at the end of every level.
Interesting, actually. That sounds
it is. Yeah, I would definitely take a look at some videos on it online just to kind of see if it's up your alley or whatever. I from what I understand, it's kind of a shorter game, but it's still pretty fun, especially in VR because you can just punch dudes in the nuts and stuff and watch them shatter. And
yeah, it's challenging. It's
also
straight up Matrix stuff.
Yeah, it is. Yep. Kind of going on into a VR and non-VR game. I mentioned last episode about Elite Dangerous, which is a space sim. I spent a little more time with that in VR, but after my first couple of nights of trying to figure out what the hell is going on, I was like, I need to watch some videos because this is so in depth and everything. And I think I mentioned on the last show where if you want to take off from the starting spaceport or whatever, you have to disengage this, there's a checklist of like 12 things you have to do just to be able to turn your ship on and lift it off the ground. So if you want to plug and play, just space shoot 'em up, this is absolutely not that. But I did some research online, seeing kind of the premise and how to pick up missions and all that stuff, and how to outfit your ship for the first time. And I'm like, okay, this seems like it'd be pretty cool, maybe. So I'm watching this guy, and he's talking about, this is the type of gear you want. This is the equipment you should start off with. And okay, we're going to go do this first map or this first mission. So he leaves the spaceport. Okay, that's cool. And he's driving, and he does his little warp drive until he basically runs out of fuel. And the way you get more fuel as you're driving is you kind of skim across the surface of these suns. So you'll see a sun, you kind of have to fly close to it so it refills up your fuel. But then as you're close to it, it's also heating up your ship. So you have to kind of ease back a little bit to cool off and then go. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of neat. So he does this, and then he does another jump until he's out of fuel and does another one. I'm thinking, okay, this is kind of getting a little long in the tooth. He's like, all right, well, we only need to do 34 more jumps, so I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead. And I'm like, no, I mean, I don't think every single type of mission is like that. But it's a huge game. It really seems like one of those games that you play while you're doing something else, like watching something on Netflix or whatever. Now I will say that in VR, it's freaking amazing because you're in the ship, and they have it built for VR in the sense that you look down and you can see your body. And when you move the thumbstick on your controller, the guy moves his hand on the throttle or whatever in the actual ship and everything. So it's super immersive in that regards. I think it would be something I could get into. Like I said, it's one of those games where you're doing something else. If they could add, because when you're in the ship, you look over in one direction, and that will bring up your navigation controls or your navigation menu. And then you look in another direction, and that'll bring up like your weapons and stuff. So it's very realistic in the way that something like that might be set up. But they need one of the monitors in the ship to be like Netflix or something like that, so that way you could, as you're scooping your fuel up in 47 times to make a trip, you actually have something to do. But I mean, I know there's a lot of people who are really into that game. I don't know that I'm going to be one of those people, but it was, if nothing else, it was cool to just get in and fly around and feel like you're in space.
Oh, wow.
It is a very nerdy game. I see a lot of people really get into that game. Like you said, it can get long in the tooth, but the people that really play it really enjoy it.
Oh, yeah. They make it
niche type game.
Yeah, it's very, very realistic in the sense that all the different systems and everything you have to manage while you're in your ship and everything like that. So I think it was something where if combat was a little easier, maybe they just had like a combat arena or something like that where you didn't have to worry about the credits and insurance on your ship and all that type of stuff. I think that there could be some real fun in that as well, but just kind of like a get in and go type thing. But it's bigger than what I'm looking for right now. Last thing is not VR related. I picked up Pyre during the Steam sale last year. I've been playing that. There was a lot of talk of that if you listen to the Giant Bomb Game of the Year stuff that came up in a lot of their categories. That is a really, really interesting game. I think it's on sale on PS4 right now for like $10. It's got this really in-depth story where you're kind of like in almost like a purgatory world, and then you play like this soccer, basketball, rugby game in order to kind of level up, and then the idea is to level up your characters to a point where you can transcend them back to a different world. It's really the closest game I've heard it described to, which I would agree with, is the old Nintendo ice hockey, where you got like the big fat guy who's slow but he's stronger, then you got the real skinny guy who's fast but he gets knocked down easier, and then the middle guy who's kind of somewhere in the middle of both of those, because there's those three kind of character types, but then they all kind of move differently. They have their own different skills, and when you're playing a match, some characters don't like each other, so if you pick one, you can't pick the other. And then each of the characters has their own story, so the more you play with them and the more you interact with them, you learn a lot more about them. So it's really charming in that sense, but also it's text. It's all text. So if you're not someone who likes to read while you're playing a game, stay away from it. But otherwise, the game itself, as far as the loop that you go in, you play a match, you talk to your characters, you level them up, you travel to the next area, you play another match. Like, there's never a good stopping point. So you always feel like, okay, I'll just talk to these guys. Okay, now I'll just equip this thing. Okay, now I'll just play the next match. So the story is good enough that you want to keep going ahead with it. But I have no idea how far I am into it because it doesn't really give you a clear answer. I've only transcended one person, but I'm still going to keep with it.
Now, have you played any of their other games? The names are escaping me right now, but
yeah,
Transistor, and what was the other one? The one before Transistor.
Yeah, with the guy who talked to you, like just basically narrated what you. Right. I have played both of them, and I did not play either of them as much as I've played this so far. I'm probably about 8 to 10 hours into this, I'd say.
No, I really enjoyed their other games, but just reading what I heard about this game, Pyre, I wasn't so into it. And what I saw at PAX East, because their games you can't get near, they're quite popular developer, and so the lines for their games would be ridiculously long. But what I was seeing over people's shoulders, I wasn't that interested in. But maybe your description is, sounds a little bit better than what I anticipated.
Yeah, I mean, the main game portion of it is sports ball. So, I mean, go team.
All right. Anything else that you have?
That is all.
That is all. Matt, I know it's your turn, but
fuckers, you get me all nervous.
Oh, you don't have to be nervous, Matt. Come on, you've done this a million times. What have you been playing, Matt?
The usual stuff. I've been doing a lot of Ghost Recon Wildlands, and the problem with that game is once you clear out the map area, there's like another one right behind it to clear out and do stuff and all types of missions. There's a lot going on with that game there, a whole lot going on. But what was it? Friday night, I played some Division with Bibbs and one of his buddies. Yeah, on PS4 there, and we played for a while. And him and his buddy carried me through some stuff, and that got me some really, really good gear. I'm up to like level 260, 255 or something like that, in gear level. So that's pretty slick there. And they got me through some stuff, and it was fun watching them play. Bibbs plays like a tank type character, okay, where everyone's like attacking him, so he can go and shoot other people while everyone's attacking him. And it is, man, the way they played, it was very enjoyable. It was good. It was really good with calling out who was where and what's going on. And they was very patient with me, as people who have played with me know how I can play games sometimes. So they were very patient with playing with me and very nice and kind to me. Unlike Mike, who gets frustrated and yells a lot and gets Hulk smash and stuff.
What are you doing? What are you people doing?
When I'm neck deep in the Division trying to kill people and you get stuck on a ladder, I'm stuck. I can't believe I'm stuck. I'm stuck.
I can't believe I forgot about that. You're right. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, I was stuck on a goddamn ladder. I couldn't get up the fucking ladder. I remember that now. Oh, if only we was streaming shit back then where we could save that clip. But no, that's bad. Just other stuff. Did some more Madden football. My Bengals on Madden football is just as bad as real life Bengals.
Oh, you lost to the Browns. Everybody was watching you on the stream.
It was horrible.
Matt got
the
so
Browns
nervous.
Were 0-10, and I lost to the Browns. That was bad. Everyone would watch me on my stream and everything. It was horrible.
And then And then 2 seconds later, it's like, I gotta go, guys. Turn the stream off.
Taking my football and going home.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what it was. I didn't give enough razzle dazzle, Jeremy.
Yep, that's what you needed.
Yeah,
razzle dazzle.
Hey, Jeremy, you ever hear some guy named called Rodimus Prime?
Yes.
Do you know who he is?
Yes.
Are you him?
No, I'm talking about the Transformer. Right? Like, not a real person, like somebody's screen name.
Okay. There's some guy who's like, every time I go live on YouTube, there's this dude that comes in. He is all over this, and he's, I don't know, he's wanting me to text him stuff and email him. He wants Mike's text, and
I keep saying, I go, that's Jeremy. I go, Jeremy's fucking trolling you. It's like this. There's no way some 15-year-old kid is getting online as soon as you go online. But he wanted them to send him Call of Duty tips to us to tell. This is fucking Jeremy.
I was playing Destiny one night. He asked me, "Are you playing Call of Duty?" I was like, "What?"
Jesus. No, I would not. I would not jump on your stream if you were playing Destiny. So no, that's not me.
Okay, fair enough. But that is it from me, though.
All right.
Shout out
to Rodimus Prime. Eric, what have you been up to?
With the whole thing last week, I jumped into some more VR.
Oh, nice. I wonder what I wanted to ask you real quick. Sorry to interrupt. How is the Xbox One X holding up? Have you played anything on it?
Yes, I played crappy PUBG too, and it's still crappy.
Crappy PUBG.
Yeah.
No, our buddy Show Nuff was having a Xbox One on the fritz as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying that on Twitter. Did he send it back in?
He said he was on phone or a chat with Xbox One support, and magically the system turned back on. So I think a common thread amongst all of us, well, not me because I don't have the issue yet, but the Scorpio editions. Everybody that's had one go tits up. It's been Scorpio editions. So let's show.
But his wouldn't come on at all, and then they flipped the switch and it came back on.
He said it was just. I think it was just a coincidence. So I think he was talking to them, and he was maybe doing something that they were talking about or whatever, and the thing turned on. But go on.
That's sketchy. But yeah, I played some more of that, and it's working out fine. Played some Forza 7. It looks beautiful. So far so good. But nothing's helping PUBG yet. But I also played some more VR. They had Farpoint has a DLC that came out for player versus player type thing, where you go in and you can basically play. It's like a Call of Duty, but in VR, and you're shooting everybody else. It's pretty cool. I like that.
Wow, nice.
And I played the game. I downloaded the game on a PlayStation Network called A Hat in Time. Have you guys ever heard of that?
Yes, yeah, it's a platformer, correct?
Yes, it's a platformer. It's no Mario Odyssey, but it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. What do you like about it?
The graphics are really good, and the basically it's the graphics. And
I noticed it wasn't like a traditional platformer. It's kind of like there's some like depth to it, right? So you just don't go left to right or right to left. You can go sort of
it's
north and south.
It's like a Mario Odyssey where you can. It's full 3D. You can you go up and down on top of buildings and stuff. So it's like that, and you use this hat.
And that's on PS4, right?
Yes, and it's fairly inexpensive. Good game.
I imagine that's going to come to the Switch. No brainer.
I'm sure it will. Yeah, I'm sure it will. But other than that, I'm just trying to stay in this VR space. But
nice.
It's cool right now. That's about it for me.
Yeah, I don't have anything too much to add. I've just been playing the usual Fortnite, Call of Duty, Ghost Recon type stuff. So nothing really.
PUBG?
I haven't played any PUBG. I haven't gone back to it, no. I'm waiting to hear about another update. Speaking of updates, let's update everybody on the Scuff controller situation.
Yes. Yes.
So I think I said on the podcast I was going to wait till Wednesday, and I was having
a big threat.
I had a bad day on Tuesday. I can't remember, Matt. Well, something else was going on Tuesday. Remember that conversation? And I was like, I was texting. I was opening a can of whoop-ass with someone. I can't remember who else I was bitching out, but there was someone else. And
your credit card. You try and get your computer parts.
That's right. I was trying to buy my computer parts, and Newegg. So I ordered 12 different things from friggin' Newegg, and they break it up into 5 different orders, which sets off all sorts of alarm bells with MasterCard in my bank. They're like, why are these 5 orders coming in, within seconds of each other? So the first time it happened, I had to call my bank, and they said, yeah, come up with our fraud, protection services, all these charges all at once. What the hell is Newegg, blah, blah, blah. So I told them, yeah, go ahead, place the order. I placed the order again. 5 minutes later, Newegg emails me back. Oh, this is fraud. I just told you it wasn't fraud. They put me on hold, and they said, actually, the issue is with MasterCard. We'll call MasterCard and call you back in 30 minutes, which they did. And so that all went through. So I was upset about that. So I was like, fuck it. Since I'm already in a bad mood, let me call Scuff. And So I called the person, and they're from Georgia. They were trying to give me the sweet Southern charm. And I was like, listen, I want to talk to your manager. I go, no, this isn't your fault. You don't get paid so poorly to have someone like me yell at you. Get your manager on the phone. She's not available right now. She can call you by the end of the day. I was like, fine. So she called, and I was like, listen, I go, I'm out to 200. You got my money. You got my controller. No one's apologized to me. This has gone on too long. I want my money back. And she says, well, 5 minutes ago, I already put the refund in place. You'll get your money back, in a day or so, and we're sending you the email confirmation now. And I said, that's good. I appreciate that, but I just want to let you know as the manager, not one person I spoke to has apologized about this. And, she didn't know what to say. She's like, sir, you're getting your money back. So, it is what it is. I got my money back, so I'm moving on from Scuff. So that is that.
They need some customer service training, though.
They need me to go down there and just whip that customer service center going. I need to be the head of Scuff customer service.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But that's the end of that. And let's segue over to news. We don't have too much, of course, with the new year already in full swing. It's a little light on news, but we'll go over a few things.
Really? Okay, do you hear what he just said? He just said, why don't you, for once in your life, just do the fucking news? All right, no. I'm going to do the fucking news. No, here is the fucking news.
All right, Jeremy, I'm going to rely on you for these first couple stories here. Paladins, you like the free-to-play stuff. Have you played that?
I have not, because it's an Overwatch clone, and I do not like Overwatch.
I have played it, Mike.
Okay. So they are getting a Battle Royale game, wait for it, called Battlegrounds.
What?
And they said it's more of a homage to other MMO games of the past that use the Battlegrounds moniker, and it's not so much to do with PUBG. That's the story they're running with, and I was hoping that you could just tell me what Paladins is, but you sort of already alluded to that it's an Overwatch clone. This is the same company that makes Smite. This is High Res out of, I believe they're in Atlanta. But they're going to be releasing something called Paladins Battlegrounds. No release date yet, but I think similar concept. I think they will force you to go into groups of 4, though, from what I'm hearing. Players will spawn into a massive map over 300 times the square footage of a typical Paladins siege map. They hop onto their mounts and begin exploring, looting their way through more than 4 dozen outposts and tracking zeppelins that drop legendary gear. It's been designed from the ground up to be played in teams. Players must work together to survive. Not sure when it's coming out yet. They got some new stuff coming out to Paladins, like Team Deathmatch and a new Battle Cat mounts, which is coming out on the 10th, but no word yet exactly when this will drop. Anybody have any interest? No,
not really.
You don't seem too positive on Paladins, Eric. Have you played it?
Yes, I have, and I don't like it.
Because it's an Overwatch clone, or because it's just not done well?
I don't think it's done as well as Overwatch, and it's almost identical to Overwatch. I mean, the characters and everything, they have characters that are just straight up knockoffs of the Overwatch characters.
Well, that's the whole thing with Smite too, right? Don't they kind of just skirt the line of like copyright infringement of like characters?
Well, yeah, no, I mean Smite's all based on gods, right? So I mean, Zeus is not going to come out looking like, you think of Zeus is going to be an old dude throwing lightning bolts and shit like that. So, I mean, but I mean, what I've heard is like what Eric said, the Paladin stuff, their characters are like way like obvious generic copies of the Overwatch ones.
I'm talking about even in looks almost.
Right.
Okay. Jeremy, you are a enthusiast of the Fallout series. What can you tell me about New Vegas very quickly? Did you play that one? I know it's not made by Bethesda itself, but Obsidian, I believe, did that. What are your thoughts on New Vegas to begin with?
It's good. It's very similar to Fallout 3. Fallout 3 was the first platinum trophy I ever had. I went all the way through New Vegas in order to also get the platinum trophy. Went through one ending and had a good save spot towards the end where I only had like maybe 2 hours to play through, and I would have had the platinum in that as well. And you remember what happened with your PS4 with the whole hard drive?
And the incident.
Yes. I had the incident with my PS3.
Oh.
And lost all of that progress with Fallout Vegas. Right. So as much as
did you do?
I got a brand new hard drive because I wasn't going to trust that one again after that. So I enjoyed the game, but it's forever going to be sullied in my mind because of that. And yeah.
Well, let's turn that frown upside down, sir. Fallout 4, a game that both of us enjoyed very much. And there is a mod team out there called Team F4NV, Fallout 4 New Vegas, right? And they are working to bring Fallout New Vegas into the Fallout 4 creation engine. And there's some videos that look very, very good of their progress so far. Have you aware of this? Have you watched any of this? Your curiosity is piqued, or is still sullied to the point where you don't care?
No, I think it sounds interesting. I think that the biggest improvement you're going to get off of that is Fallout 4 had the thing put in place where when you shot a gun and you were aiming at a guy's head, it would actually hit his head. Whereas 3 in New Vegas it was always a random dice roll, regardless of where you were aiming at. So I think it would definitely benefit from that of actually being able to be played like a shooter rather than just an RPG the whole way.
And they say, they're going to have the exact same game, all the missions and everything like that will be in there, but they're going to add some stuff as well. So no release date yet, but go search for this Fallout New Vegas on your PCs and the Googles. I think you'll be really impressed with some of the trailers that they got out there. It looks pretty sharp, in my opinion. PS4 heads, let's get your attention here. Monster Hunter World Beta. The third beta has been announced. It will have new content. And once again, it's PS4 only. And it will run from January 18th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time until January 21st at the same time, 9 p.m. Eastern. So for you people on the fence, you want to try out Monster Hunter but maybe don't want to spend the money, check back on those days, download it, and give it a whirl. Maybe a Bad Fodder Figures stream. Us hunting some monsters would be kind of fun.
Have you guys played any of those games?
Well, I talked a few weeks ago that I played the beta, the second beta.
Yeah, I played the beta too.
And I played something on the Wii U. I have I have a Wii U game for it. And I told you it's the same thing. You're out there hunting, and then the thing goes back to its house.
Yes. Oh, fucking annoying.
Yeah. The last bit of news here that I have is Call of Duty. This is actually some old news, Matthew, but it slipped by my firm grasp of news. I'm very apologetic about this. But in December, they announced the new maps. We were talking about this the other day. When are they going to be getting some new content?
Yep.
So this is going to be January 30th. This is coming out. Okay? It's going to give you 3 new maps, some zombie stuff in there. This is called Resistance. The whole premise of all these maps is about resistance. I believe there's going to be an actual map where the real life, I guess, they try to kill Hitler. They try to assassinate him. So there's going to be a map that is centered around that. It's called Valkyrie. It takes place near the bunker where the failed real-life mission to kill Hitler occurred. So again, if you got the Seasons Pass, that'll all be included. Otherwise, January 30th is when it comes out, and it comes out a month earlier on PS4. For Xbox One and PC, you have to wait a month.
Nice.
And that is all the news. Before we get into our own plugs, Jagouche is double dipping here into something. He would like to thank Mafia Thug for gifting him 3 months of PS Plus.
Oh, wow.
So Mafia Thug is very nice of him. Actually, before we get into plugs, Matthew, do you have any terrible topics you want to go over?
Sure. Does Jeremy need to leave, or is he going to just?
He does, but I don't want to stop it because we haven't had terrible topics for 2 episodes. So I'll just skirt out in the middle of them. But I'll stay as long as I can and then just ghost out.
All right, I got a couple quick ones.
All right.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second.
Might be women of the night walking around, broadcasting out their anuses. Like 70s Harry.
Oh, nice.
Oh, look at that. Burn it up. I'm right down to the fucking fan. Adult toys, sex crime, or sexual assault, vaginas. Jesus fucking Christ.
All right, who's got the GPS on the rub and tug? Could not deny listeners that again.
Yeah, that thing makes me laugh every time I hear that.
Well, I got a couple quick stories here, both dealing with a mighty cold weather here, and this is something very important here, Mike. You need to be careful when you're out blowing snow and stuff like that out there.
Snowing and blowing?
Snowing and blowing, man. When you're snorting snow, it says here, hospitals across Maine report epidemic of chipped nipples. Chipped nipples. Okay. What? Yeah.
Nipples.
Well, you can get them chafed. Right?
Well, that's I think that's the first warning sign, Mike, of getting chipped. You might want to check your wife. She was out there the other night too. You see me picture of her snow blowing.
Oh no!
It says here, emergency rooms around the state are normally filled with patients suffering from the flu or from injuries related to snowmobiling, but this year, cold snap is bringing patients in with an age-old problem. When it's this cold, we try to warn people that they'll chip a nip out there if they aren't careful. Maine Medical Center emergency room physician Dr. Sanjay Achara told us. Even bundling up to extreme lengths can always protect against chipping. The medical term for chipped nips is hyperextreme nipple glaciation, and it only occurs when air temperatures drop below 10 degrees Fahrenheit. From a scientific standpoint, there just isn't enough research into the cause of nipple chippage beyond the fact that it's colder than a whore's heart in church, Achara said.
Oh, my word.
Yeah. If you or someone you know is colder than a whore's heart in church.
What? Do they have them out? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah. That would be frostbite, wouldn't it?
Right. Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking. Your little nips get frostbitten and just kind of fall off or something.
Coat? Have you maybe a sweatshirt? Something could prevent this? I don't.
Clothes? So be careful out there, Mike. All right, I don't want to see you get chipped nipples.
There is nothing worse than a chafed nipple. I've had that happen, like outside, like all day in the sweating and stuff like that. I've had that. It's a very unpleasant feel. I can only imagine losing some of your nipple, though. I don't think there's enough Aquaphor for that.
You need to do like the marathon runners do and put Band-Aids over your nips.
Right,
that way, that's what you need to do. Start doing that.
What does that do?
It keeps them from rubbing against the shirt and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm telling you, you don't want to get a chafed nip.
No.
Okay. I'm going to trust y'all on that one.
No.
It hurts. It's smart. It stings.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I don't know if I should say this or not. But we're going for it anyway. Eric, since you're on the show here, real quick, all right, little sidebar. Okay. Tonight, I learned of a new...
Is this going to be a black thing?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I learned a new term tonight for black men's chest hair.
Hamburger meat.
Taco meat. They're calling it taco meat.
Yeah.
I never heard that before tonight.
Yeah.
I'm only kidding you, Bubba. The black people belong in this country.
Because the hair will be so curled up and look like taco meat.
I never heard of that before tonight.
But see, I don't have that issue because I shaved mine off. So no taco meat over here, bro.
Yeah, well, be careful with your nipples then, because you don't have hair protection.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm turning off my microphone. Bye, guys.
And here is
oh. Yes, how'd you hear that, though? This is what I'm trying to find out. Where'd you hear that from, Matt?
Because we went to a birthday party, and they had they was having taco meat there.
And keep in mind, Eric, at this birthday party, everybody was wearing cowboy boots. All right.
You can't handle the truth.
Yeah, I got it, Mike. I'm trying.
The world is coming crumbling down. The coons are coming.
Jesus Christ. What the hell?
So I got one more story here. That's a cold story. This is something I could see Mike actually doing here also. Man confesses to killing neighbor clearing snow from his driveway.
Fucking guy had it coming.
It says here, a Michigan man charged with murdering his neighbor confessed to killing the woman after seeing her blowing snow out of his driveway. Wendell Earl Popejoy, 63, of Ottawa County, confessed to shooting his neighbor, Sheila Bonge, 59, according to court documents. Popejoy, who had no prior criminal record, told Ottawa County Sheriff's Office Detective Ann Coster that he made the decision to kill the woman after seeing Bonge outside on December 26, blowing snow from the easement driveway in front of his home in the 1400 block of 104th Avenue. Wendell stated that he had made the decision when he saw Sheila to kill her. Coster said during a hearing Sunday, according to court transcript, he then grabbed a gun from his home, went out to the easement where Sheila was blowing the snow, and then went up behind her and shot her in the back of the head and disposed of her body behind the residence. Man, just for taking the snow out of the drawer, the delay was helping the dude. It says here, details of the relation between Bonge and Popejoy are unclear, but a friend of Bonge's told WZZM that she had an ongoing dispute with several neighbors. One of the women's neighbors, not Popejoy, unsuccessfully sought a protection order against Bonge and her fiance. So maybe this lady was causing some issues and stuff like that, but still, she was out getting rid of the snow for the dude and went out and just shot her in the back of the head. That is just crazy.
It's no big deal.
Absolutely crazy. That is wow. I would never thought that would happen to me. Like helping someone clear the snow from their driveway. I do it all the time here.
You got to be careful, man. People can be triggered.
Yeah, I guess so. I never experienced that myself, though.
Any other stories that you want to delight us with?
We'll end it with those two tonight. I'll save the other. I got other ones, but we'll save those for a future time.
Stories and questions.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So Jeremy bowed out. He had to go take care of some things, but we're wrapping up anyways. Matthew, any plugs, promos, complaints?
Yeah, all the listeners and stuff are calling in the show and participating in the show and in our streams and stuff like that. It's always enjoyable. It makes everything a whole lot more fun when you're gaming with friends and that, and everyone's having a good time and watching us and joking around, stuff like that. You know, Gamer Goalie's out there having fun with us, and Mark and I and Hell and Team Chaos Theory and Bibbs and all of them. So it's always a good time when everyone's playing together and just shooting the shit and having fun. That's what it's all about right there.
You know, Mark and Team Chaos Theory are the same person, right?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah. I said too many people.
I'm just busting your balls. All right. Anything else, Matthew?
No, that is it.
Okay. Eric, how about yourself?
Man, everybody that listens and calls in and interacts, man, I want to interact more, but sometimes I got to be the police. But man, I love it. So, shout outs to everybody, man. Keep it up.
Yes, sir. Echo a lot of the same sentiments. We had a great stream last night. I did a little $20 giveaway on the stream because I wanted to test out some Twitch giveaway. I don't know if it's software or Chrome plugin, I guess is what you would call it. And that went rather swimmingly. We got to test it out because one guy won and then never claimed it within the allotted time, so I got to re-roll. So congratulations to Maniac17. He got the $20 gift certificate, which he was very appreciative of this morning.
Nice.
So we had a good time last night, and if I can speak for Matt, I think we're both looking to increase the quality and the quantity of our streaming. So be on the lookout for Matt to be doing more, and much the same as me as well.
Yeah, it's not that I'm copping off of you, Mike, but I like to get the same quality out there that everyone else has got going on, stuff like that. So I just want to try and up my game some.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So this has been it for episode 11. Thanks again to everybody that listens, downloads, shares, participates. It's all very much appreciated. And we will be back next week. We're going to threaten to come back next week with episode 12. See you later.
Sir.
Even I draw the line on dope and drugs for any amount of money.